Okay, so we're going to be fitting up this breech plug. And first off, before I forget it, I took a Sharpie and I've colored on the face here so I can see where it is contacting inside the internal shoulder. And tools I've been using to do this is I've got a bastard file to rough it down to the length. I believe it's a first cut file, just has teeth going one direction, unlike a bastard file that has it in both directions. That's a cross cut file. Then I got a second cut file, which is the same as this, but the teeth are a lot finer spaced together. And if you don't have a file card, it's basically a brush for files. Get that, because the second cut file especially really likes to gum up with filings. So I'm just going to take our barrel, set it on here, give it a light torquing, and I'd bring you down here but you wouldn't be able to see the detail. We are 1/32 of an inch, or right around a millimeter, from contacting the face of our breech plug, which is our ultimate goal. Is we want this to line one flat to line up with the top of here, and right here is the X I put where I want to drill my touch hole. So I want that to be on the right side because I'm a right-handed user, which means I want this flat to be up here, which means we have about another 2/3 of a turn to go before the right flat is in the up position, which consequently is also about how much we need to go down and travel. Okay, I got my barrel off. I can see it's rubbing here and over here a little bit. Since I'm so far along, I'm going to use my second cut file. Just take those spots away. Now, I don't have a flat 90-degree shoulder inside the barrel for the breech plug threads. It's the 117-degree taper that the drill bit had. So this, I'm doming this slightly. Which is why you won't see me take anything out of the middle. Got a wire brush, clean it all up, put on some new Sharpie, and back on with the barrel. You'll notice I didn't torque the wrench super hard. Okay, same spots pretty much. It was here, now it's moved to here. And anywhere I'm seeing these threads get thin, I'm just putting a little chamfer on them. That'll help strengthen them. There you go, that's pretty much it. Just rinse and repeat those steps until you have it fitting where you want it to, and I will bring you back when I get there. Okay, we're at another crucial point. This is what I was talking about. Here's the top face of the breech plug. You see the little gap there and the little gap right there. We don't care if it touches so much down here on the bottom because you're never going to see it, but up here we want it flush. I forgot to mention the reason why we do this fit up. One, here it looks good, and two, up here the internal shoulder helps keep gases from blowing back onto the internal threads. Now this face right here, directly opposite is our touch hole face, So that means I'm going to have to trim off some of here to get this to turn more, which is good because it's not touching out here, but it's touching on the inside. Same thing down here. It's touching on the inside, but not the outside. So I gotta take a file and smooth that out. Okay, now that we're down so close, we're working two faces. We're working top and bottom face of the breech plug and the top of this face. Ideal situation is when I screw it down, I want there to be a ring all the way around, which we almost have. And I just did some filing down here, so I scrubbed off all the black, but same thing. We want as much black wiped away, which tells us that we have optimal flat to flat surface contact. Okay, we're pretty much where we need to be. This is the flat with the touch hole. Here's the flat that's up. Right now, this point is sitting on the top of the flat. Well, it's really here. That's in the middle of the flat. That's where I want it, because when I torque it over the right tension, it's gonna hold the right tension in the flat. So I'm gonna make sure this is my touch hole side. I'm gonna hold this right here. I'm gonna mark right just above the face of this breech plug. So now I'll find the center of the bore and center punch that, and I can drill for my touch hole. Now some tips and tricks. Undercut the very base here a little bit. The threads there aren't doing much anyway, and it'll make fitting it up so much easier. I've got pretty good contact around the top, and I've got pretty good contact around here. Later on, when we're doing some fitting, we can peen the barrel and the top of this breech plug to, we can peen those together so they're nice and solid, and file that back smooth so it looks good. Okay, we've got the barrel torqued onto the breech plug where we need to be. I'm gonna cut off the excess on the bottom here. And take my bastard file and bring that down even. Okay, now that is nice and flat. I'm gonna take a very sharp chisel, find the middle as best you can, and helps if it's straight, but oh well. Now these are going to help us every time we take off this breech plug and put it back on. We now have a witness mark to line it back up to. Take my file, my fine file, and just get rid of the burrs that left. There we go. Tang's a little twisted from forging. Take the torch, heat that back up, straighten it out, but the top is flat. We have minimal gapping. Again, we can take a peen, a really light hammer, and actually the barrel's good. I can peen, I have enough material here just to peen this way towards the barrel, close that up. Now what we gotta do is drill the touch hole, profile the top 5 flats, and this thing is ready for the installation hardware, which will probably be 1 or 2 pins going through some dovetailed, I forget what you call them. It's basically a flat piece of metal with a hole in it. But that's where the gun project is so far. Thanks for following along, and I will catch you in the next video.